Hey there, you've tuned into a BTN News Update for Wednesday the 12th of June. I'm Amelia Mosley. Thanks for listening. Let's jump into it. You might have seen a video of Facebook boss Mark Zuckerberg floating around the internet recently. While that might not sound that weird, there's something a bit different about this one. Have a listen.
Imagine this for a second. One man with total control of billions of people's stolen data. All their secrets, their lives, their futures. Whoever controls the data controls the future.
Yeah, what he's saying there sounds pretty dodgy, right? And that's because he never even said it. The video is a total fake. Well, to be more precise, it's a real video, an old one of Zuckerberg, that's been changed to make it look like he said something he never did. Videos like this are known as deep fakes. They use artificial intelligence software to make a pretty realistic-looking talking movement that matches the words that have been added or changed in a person's voice. Now it's got a lot of people talking about deepfakes and how they're seemingly not that hard to make, and the massive amount of damage they could do to people, businesses, even politics, if people believe them to be the real deal. Zuckerberg's not the first one to cop the deepfake treatment. A video of US Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi slurring and stumbling over her words was getting a lot of attention about a month ago, but as you might have guessed, it isn't real either.
It was very, very strange.
Now, lots of people are campaigning for Facebook to remove these kinds of videos, but so far the social media company says it's leaving them up. Which is kind of ironic considering one of them features their boss. But at least this is definitely another reminder to question what you see on the internet, even when it looks and sounds legit. You might have heard of the famous rock band Radiohead, but if you haven't, here's one of their biggest hits from the 90s.
But I'm a creep. I'm a
It turns out the British band were being blackmailed. Last week, a hacker stole hours of music and recording sessions from their archive and demanded the band pay more than $200,000 or they'd release it to the public. But here's the best bit. Instead of paying up, Radiohead decided to release the tapes themselves. Take that, hackers. The band's selling them on their website with all of the profits going to an environmental group. What a great outcome. Have you ever wanted your very own little alien friend? Yeah, me too. Hello there. I will call you Gary. Wait, I'm getting distracted because it turns out our alien buddies on distant planets are going to be a little harder to find than we humans originally thought. A new study from the University of California found most of the 4,000 or so-called habitable planets that we've found so far are unfit for walking, talking, proper alien life because of toxic gases in their atmospheres. Usually, scientists focus on looking for water, in particular liquid water, to judge whether an alien planet could sustain life. Usually, scientists focus on looking for water, in particular liquid water, to judge whether an alien planet could sustain life. But this new study says that even if the planets are flowing with life-giving H2O, their toxic atmospheres might mean only very basic, boring old single-celled organisms could exist there. Which isn't to say you definitely don't exist, Gary. You're just maybe a little trickier to find. Yes, Gary, I like cheese too. Now's not the time to talk about it, though. Moving on. If you're listening from Melbourne, then guess what? Flying cars are on their way. Well, sort of. Uber has named Melbourne as one of the 3 locations around the world to try out its new flying taxis. There'll be small electric aircrafts that can take off and land vertically and have no pilot. Uber says it's hoping for test flights to kick off in 2020, starting with taking passengers from a shopping centre to the airport. But it's not the only company racing to take over the skies. Airbus, Volocopter and Air New Zealand are all hoping to get their own air taxi service off the ground soon. Of course, there are still some things that all of the companies need to keep in mind before this new kind of transport takes off, like making sure it's affordable, not too noisy, and of course, safe. So I'm sorry, but don't expect to catch an air taxi to school anytime soon. And finally, we all shed hair, right? But usually once it's off our heads, it's not considered very valuable to us. Or anyone else, really. More of a bother, if anything. But you might want to rethink that attitude if the hair you've got in your hand belongs to a very famous historical figure. I'm talking about the German composer and pianist Ludwig van Beethoven. A precious little lock of his grey and brown hair is being sold at auction in London. Beethoven's hair has been sold before, but this time it's particularly special because the composer personally gave his hair to another pianist back in 1826, just a year before he died. Why he did that? Not sure. But remind me to put some hair aside when I become famous. I mean, if. And that's all the news I've got for you today, but don't you worry, I'll be back with more tomorrow. Chat to you then. Bye.